Dear students, we have discussed till now up to this chlorine atom. It is having 17 electrons. So 8 electrons in the second shell fulfilled, and in the third shell it is 7 electrons. So what will happen if it is more than that, 7 electrons? If think about, there are 15 electrons. What will happen? Here you see in the third shell it is 13 and it goes to the next shell. So the rule is there, until and unless it fulfills 18 electrons here in the third shell, it's up to its capacity, it will release out the maximum number 3 electrons to the next shell. Here you see 13 electrons here, total 14 is there. It is holding 13 here in the third shell and 1 electron to the next shell, so that it can easily be released out. I have told you earlier that maximum 1, 2 or 3 electrons can be released out or accepted by any atom. Here you see there are 18 electrons, but if there are 18 electrons, it is very difficult to hold this electron in the third shell. For this, nickel is transferring the 2 electrons in the outermost shell. Now if the question comes, if more than 18 electrons, here you see 19 electrons are there for copper, and only there, then it will hold 18 electrons in the third shell. So the rule is, if more than 18 electrons are there, then only it will fulfill 18 electrons in its third shell. Up to 18 electrons, it will transfer as much as possible to the next shell. It will be maximum up to 3. Here you see, if I go downwards, here you see in case of germanium, it is having 18 electrons fulfilled and 4 in the outermost shell. So in excess of 18, the extra electrons are transferred to the outermost shell. So why now, if the 5 electrons are transferred there, so it can easily accept 3 electrons to get 8 electrons in its outermost shell. In case of this one, it can accept 2 electrons, it can accept 1 electron. Here you see krypton, the noble gas, it is having 8 electrons in their outermost shell. So the rule is, up to 18 it will transfer the maximum 3 electrons in its outermost shell, keeping the maximum here only. It can be 15.3, but not 14.4. 15.3 can be possible. It can be cobalt, can be 14.3, 15.2 is possible. Maximum 3, minimum 1. Here you see. Now in excess of 18, when in excess of 18 is there, then only it will hold 18 electrons in its third shell. This is all about the electronic distribution. Next we will go for the change in energy for transfer of electrons.